Right now, I want to talk to you about electricity. As a homeowner or even a renter, how much is electricity costing you? I'm going to talk about how you can calculate that. I also want to give you some tips and tricks on how you can save some money on your electrical bill. So first, let's talk about how you are charged. So as a customer, when I turn on my lights or use something that uses electricity, I am charged per kilowatt hour. So a kilowatt is 1,000 watts, and in order to calculate how much something is costing you, you just have to do some simple math. So for an example here, I'm going to show you, we're going to calculate how much it costs to run this space heater. So on your appliance, whatever you're looking at, on the bottom, typically there's going to be a sticker printed that gives you more information about it. Now it might give you volts and amps. This one gives me the actual watts here. So it says 120 volts, 60 hertz, 1500 watts. So this one's really easy. All I have to do is take that 1500 and convert it into kilowatts. So I take 1500 and I divide it by 1,000, so that's 1.5. And now I just need to know how much I'm being charged as a customer per kilowatt hour. So if you look it up on average in the United States, it is 16 cents per kilowatt hour. Now you can look it up yourself. Typically the utility company that you work with, it'll be on your bill, or you can actually go to the website. The website for my utility company has a rate sheet published online, and I can see right there what their current rates are. So right now we're at about 11 cents. I'm gonna round it just to make it easy for math. So you know what you're being charged specifically per kilowatt hour wherever you live, and of course you've looked that up. So for me, for this example, it's 11 cents. So for this space heater right here, we're gonna take that 1.5, right? This is 1500 watts, remember, so that's 1.5 kilowatts, and we're gonna multiply that by 11 cents, so 0.11. So that's gonna give me my cost per hour. So that is 0.165. So it costs 16.5 cents to run this space heater per hour. So if I ran it, for example, 2 hours a day, it's winter right now, it's pretty chilly outside. I think we were at 30 degrees this morning. So I'm running this maybe a couple hours a day. Let's say I run it for 2 hours a day. So my daily cost for this space heater would be 33 cents per day. And if I did that every day for 30 days out of the month, that means this would cost me 9.9 or $10 per day, or excuse me, per month to run this space heater. So of course, to save money on that, I would just run it less, maybe put on a jacket, and that would save me some money on that space heater. Now, you might see other devices or other pieces of equipment that have a different rating here on the bottom. So they're not going to show you different information here is what I'm trying to say. So this one says 120 volts, 60 hertz, 3.5 amps. So now we're going to have to do a little bit more math to figure out how much it costs to run this vacuum or this portable carpet cleaner. So in order to get power, which is watts, we just have to go to Ohm's law. There's a wheel that's going to show you what the conversion is. So on the wheel, I equals amps and P equals power or watts. So it's really easy to convert using Ohm's wheel, and really it's just basically multiplication or division. But really on all of these devices and appliances and things that I've seen, it's always going to be, they're going to give you the volts and the amps. So you're just going to take your 120 volts and you're going to multiply it by the amps. So in this case, it was 120 times 3.5. So that gives us 3.2. So 120 times 3.5, that is 420. So that is 420 watts. Again, we divide that by 1,000, and that gives us 0.42 kilowatts. We multiply that by the hourly rate again, that's 11 cents. So this machine cost me about 4.62 cents per hour to run that portable vacuum spot carpet cleaner, right? So that's the quick math that you can do on your appliances and devices like that. But now let's talk about light bulbs. So when you're looking at light bulbs, you look at each individual bulb, not the entire fixture as a whole. So each bulb whatever wattage rating it's at, that's the draw. Like that is going to be one line item. So for instance, I have some light fixtures in the house. They have 3 bulbs, they have 4 bulbs. I'm going to look at each one and see what wattage the bulbs are. In this case, they're all 60 watt bulbs. So in this fixture here, I've got 3 lights. So you're going to calculate how much it costs me to run or keep the lights on that fixture. I take this 60 watts multiplied by 3, so that's 180 watts. I divide that by 1,000, right, because we want kilowatts. That's 0.18 kilowatts. I multiply that by the 11 cents, and that gives me about 2 cents per hour to run all 3 of those bulbs. So if I multiply that by, let's say I keep those lights on 6 hours a day, that's almost 12 cents per day, and if I multiply that by 30 days, that's $3.50, or about 3.6, it's pretty close there, but about $3.50 per month just to keep lights on in this room. Now, depending on the size of your house and how often or how long you keep the lights on, that can really add up. So it does save you money to go ahead and turn the lights off when you're not using them, so you don't want to have your lights on all the time when you're not home. Another thing that you can do to save money is switch over to LED bulbs. So LED bulbs use a fraction of the wattage as traditional bulbs, and there's a couple different benefits as well. So I like LED bulbs because they use less wattage, they produce as much light, but you're looking at maybe 10 watts instead of 60 watts for about the same lighting from an LED bulb. So that's going to cut it in half, or actually more than half. That's going to cut it down significantly. So if you take the 10 watts, so if we had 10 watts times 3, and then we had, so that's 30 watts. Then we're going to divide that by 1,000. So that is 0.03 kilowatts. We'll multiply that by the 0.11. That gives us 0.0033 per hour. And if we did the same math, we kept those on for 6 hours a day and we multiplied that by the 30 days, that takes it down to about 60 cents per month. So that's a big difference, going from almost $4.50 down to 60 cents. That is a huge cut in cost by switching over to LED bulbs. Another benefit of LED bulbs is they don't get scorching hot like the traditional light bulbs that we have right now. So hopefully that was helpful. You can really get kind of nerdy about this stuff. Don't think about it too much, but there are ways to save some money when it comes to your electrical bill. And then you can always break it down looking at your specific situation. So one thing I like about my utility company is that if I go onto my online account, I can actually see a breakdown of how much it's costing me. So they're telling me how many kilowatt hours I'm using. They also have a graph that shows my peak hours, my peak usage, and I can kind of compare and contrast, and then I can change my habits a little bit. So again, some simple things that you can do to save some cost on electricity is just turn things off when you're not using them, turn lights off when you're not using them, and then think about when you're using it and if you actually need it to cut some cost. So calculate how much it costs you to run your different appliances, and then you can make some decisions that's best for you in your specific situation on how you want to go ahead and run those things. So again, hopefully that was helpful. My name is Drew. If you like DIY around the house, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.